I hope you had a great week. Man, it's deep into summer. We're just about ready to trip into August, or I guess we are today. And you know what I want to talk about today? I want to talk about AI. I know AI all the time. But I really want to talk about, and I want to do it in a way, I want to talk about a recent Mortgage Coach podcast from last week. And the title of the podcast was How Wally Ellerberry is Using AI to Win Buyers and Wow Realtors. And it's a 57-minute podcast, that Dave Savage hosts, and it was really terrific. And that the podcast is going to get us, let me visit a couple topics. So first, congratulations to Dave, the Trust Engine team, and Mortgage Coach on their new AI-driven Mortgage Coach platform. And it is really game changing and it's super powerful. And I'm not going to try to act like an expert on it, so be sure to watch the podcast. And I know Dave's doing quite a few podcasts on this and introducing the new product. But essentially, you're putting an AI tool inside of your TCA that then allows the borrower to have a conversation with essentially your TCA about what their best strategy is, what they should do, what their options are. And it's really an educational platform. And the thing that makes it different than them going to their own AI tool like ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or whatever they use, what makes it different is that AI tool has all of their qualifying data, all their information. So all the information that it took to build the TCA is then inside that AI tool. So the AI gives very specific feedback, direction, coaching, answers based on that person's circumstance. So it's just not some general information, which makes it super, super powerful, hyper personalized advice. And so congratulations to Dave. I'm super excited about the product. I'm sure it's going to be a giant game changer. But I also gleaned quite a few little nuggets from this podcast that I want to share. And here's what they did. So Wally and one of the people he works with were on the alpha testing team. So they've been testing this Mortgage Coach AI, I think, for at least 30 days. And in trying to optimize it, what they did a very, very clever thing in that they crafted 10 prompts or a list of questions that their clients should ask this AI tool. And that's just masterful because what they're doing is they're teaching their clients how to be self-sufficient, how to get information on their own, how to satisfy first to feed their curiosity and then how to satisfy their curiosity. And so they give them, hey, these are the 10 questions you should be asking. Like as a home buyer or as a borrower, these are the questions you should be asking. Whether you're asking me or you're asking your AI tool, you should be asking it. And so they give them these prompts, and then they encourage their borrowers to get into that Mortgage Coach AI and ask it these questions, the questions that they find most relevant. And it's so good because you're leading them to their own discovery, which I love, and that it's going to come from a highly trusted source. So I really like that idea in this. I really like them doing that. And if you go to the podcast, Dave puts a link to those 10 prompts. He actually puts it, I think, in the notes. You can get the 10 prompts if you want them. So certainly go check those out. I will put a link to the podcast in my notes below, and so you can go to Dave's podcast and check that out. Another couple things they did, I really like this. They do this really good up to now with their clients. And what they said is, look, whenever I first sit down with a client, I ask them, how much research have you done? Where are you in your home buying or your borrowing journey? What kind of research have you done? What have you learned? What's struck you? And they really listen for, like, where did you get your information? Does it come from? Did you do a Google search? Did you do a Reddit, which is coming, I guess, more and more common? Reddit is becoming super powerful. Did you use an AI tool? Did you ask ChatGPT? Was it from family or neighbors? And then they kind of frame it in, look, I want to know what your discovery has been so far so that I come beside you and match my coaching and advice to the level that you're at and fill any gaps if we need to. But that way they get to know where their borrower's coming from, and they'll know if they got it from Reddit, here's what you can expect. If they got it from ChatGPT, here's what you can expect. And so now they start to have insights to their clients by just asking that very simple question. It also then gives them insights into how comfortable are they using AI, because if they've already used ChatGPT or Perplexity to start doing some of their research, then they're going to absolutely love love Mortgage Coach AI. And if they're, AI deniers, then you're probably going to have to really role model how to use it for them. But I thought that was a really, really good point. Another thing I'll tell you that I liked from this podcast, Dave was having some audience participation, and he invited Moises to come and comment on some things. And I really like what she said. One of the dark clouds that we face is this cloud of omission, and that is what we do is super complicated in mortgages, and it's a mix of how much do we inform our clients or how much do we just do stuff for them because that's what we get paid for. But a lot of times, if the client perceives that we're not telling them everything, like we didn't tell them everything they didn't know, that we're purposely withholding from them or misleading them, and that is this black cloud of omission. Right? And by having this AI-powered mortgage coach, there's no longer a possibility of having any omission because your borrower can always ask the tool that you're giving it the question and they'll get an answer. And so they won't feel like you omitted something. And so you're covering all bases. And you're doing so 24/7. You're doing it. They can do it on their phone, at 11 o'clock at night before going to bed, whatever the deal is. You're making it super convenient. And here's the great thing about the Mortgage Coach tool, the Mortgage Coach AI. Whenever they ask Mortgage Coach AI a question, that you get an email saying, hey, your client just asked these questions. So you can do a couple things with that data. One is follow up with the borrower. Hey, I noticed that you asked Mortgage Coach AI this question. Did you get the answer you wanted? Is there anything I can help you explain? But more importantly, you can take those questions that your client's asking you in that environment or through any environment and start to create FAQs on them. And FAQs are really critical because you need to have really specific FAQs online, because that's one of the ways that AI now searches. They search for very specific, highly targeted information. And so if you take the most popular questions and then you really answer it specifically and succinctly, and it's searchable by AI, you'll start to be creating shareable AI content. So when somebody uses AI for a search engine, they'll pick you. So make sure you're doing those FAQs based on those questions. But that's enough. Make sure you watch this. I gotta believe, I know this number is not right, but I mean, a big percentage of the mortgage industry already uses Mortgage Coach. This new AI feature is definitely a game changer. We all have to level up. We all have to use a lot more tools, give a lot better advice, become a lot more valuable. So we need tools like Mortgage Coach. Congrats to Dave, I said already, and the Trust Engine team. With that, I hope you had a great week. I appreciate you giving me a few minutes of your time, and I look forward to talking to you again soon.